Hello and welcome to Reality Recapped, where I recap all of the trashiest reality shows. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and it's through that lens that I watch these shows and make my comments. Of course, I have not met with any of the people on this show, so everything that I state is simply an opinion. My channel is a little bit of education and a whole lot of snark. This week, I'm recapping Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 7, Throwing in the Towel. The episode opens at Salsa Brava. I'm sure the food is great at this restaurant, but considering the life-changing conversations that have happened in this restaurant, I don't think I would ever want to step foot in this place again if I was Christine or Janelle. It's been a month since Kody and Janelle's conversation we saw in the last episode, where she told Kody she wanted to stay separated. But before Christine and Janelle sit down at Spicy Salsa, we cut to Meri's house. Meri has asked Robyn over to tell her she's downsizing in Flag and moving her clothing business to the B&B in St. George. We have dueling sister wives, I'm leaving Kody convos, and I'm here for it. This episode is going to be a ping pong, a back and forth between two different conversations saying pretty much the same thing. Meri and Janelle are both leaving Kody. In her confessional, Christine says she's heard from Janelle's kids that things aren't good between Janelle and Kody. Christine asks how the conversation was, and Janelle says, "You know how he is. You just go in circles. It's not productive." We cut back to Meri and Robyn. Robyn actually goes inside Meri's house, and this is unexpected. I wonder why. What has changed? Maybe they have COVID tests now. Remember, for a long time, we didn't have them, and then all of a sudden the government was like handing out 2 per person. But earlier, Kody was talking about testing the girls before they came over after Christmas. So what is going on? Do any of you know why Robyn suddenly is inside Meri's house? Like, what is happening there? Why is there a change? In her confessional, Robyn says she's a little nervous. There's a lot of heavy stuff going on right now, and she just doesn't know if she can take anymore. Meri says Robyn has said so many times to her, "Don't leave me. Don't leave me." Meri is worried Robyn's going to think she's just throwing in the towel when she tells her she's moving her business to St. George. Meanwhile, the sister wife audience is chanting, "Throw it, throw it, throw it, throw it." Meri tells Robyn in a pretty dramatic way she's decided to move out of the house and move her business. So she'll be downsizing here. Robyn's like, "Well, where are you moving?" In her confessional, Meri says, yeah, I guess Robyn's not liking what I'm telling her. In her confessional, Robyn plays her usual "I just don't understand" ploy. She's like, "This is your home, though. Where are you gonna live?" Poor Robyn just doesn't understand anything that's going on around her. Meri says she'll spend longer chunks of time at St. George, but she will come back to Flagstaff when she's needed. And oh my goodness, Meri has had a brilliant idea. She says to Robyn, "Hey, if you need me, just call me," which ends up taking the pressure completely off of Meri, because Meri finally divulges that Robyn hasn't been calling or texting for the last 2 years. Yep, good old Robyn, Meri's best sister wife, hasn't been reaching out to her at all. Let's remember Meri, who has been following all of the COVID rules as Robyn's representative Kody laid out for her, and good old Robyn let Meri sit in a house all by herself, totally alone, for 2 years, and couldn't even be bothered to pick up the phone to ask how she was. I see why Kody thinks Robyn is such a good sister wife. I want to interrupt the video really quickly. Please give this video a like if you're enjoying it. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please take a minute to do so. I'm really working to try to grow the channel, and anything you can do to offer some help, like giving a like or subscribing if you haven't already, I greatly appreciate. Now back to the show. Robyn says she doesn't feel very steady with everything going on, even with Kody. He's very different, she says. Robyn claims to have always had a steadiness between her and Meri. At least with Meri, Robyn says, she could go to her and say, "Hey, we're here for each other, right? We're gonna stick this out, right? Let's not give up, okay?" Sounds like you're being real creative with what your relationship actually is while you're in front of the camera. And finally, Meri is telling us what's really going on behind the scenes rather than what Robyn is pretending is happening. We cut back to spicy salsa. Janelle says she saw Nancy. Remember, that's the therapist that they had in Vegas? And I am so hopeful they're going to cut to a clip of Nancy and Janelle talking. But they didn't. I understand getting therapy on TV isn't the most ethical thing, but Janelle says that she's finally figured out after talking to Nancy that she's growing and she needs something different. And she says, I don't want to be married anymore. And this is basically the Sister Wives audience. We are excited. She's finally realized that Kody is not good enough for her and she's going to get the heck out of there. Now we cut back to Meri's house. Meri, who has had 2 jobs, tries to explain to Robyn, who has no jobs, why living 5 hours away from one of your jobs isn't very efficient. Robyn looks stumped, and in her head, I think she's wondering why Meri doesn't ask her nannies to run the other business. Meri continues, I'll be more efficient at both of my jobs if they're actually in the same location. Robyn's like, oh, you want to have your clothing business up there. Well, it's easier to move some boxes of clothing rather than a whole B&B, Robyn. Don't worry, I'll sit down and explain it to you later. Meri says she's going to downsize and flag to a smaller house, but she'll still come back between states. Robyn's like, but this is where you're going to live, right? And Meri laughs and says, well, yes, but I will be visiting there often-er. Robyn says, we're still going to be together, right? Like this, like together? Because we both believe in the possibility of getting this family fixed somehow. Oh, don't worry, Robyn. If your idea of togetherness is living in the same city but virtually basically ignoring one another, then you won't even notice that she's gone. I mean, you will when you go to the bank. Now we get to Kody, who is putting those motorbikes and all that land those ladies bought him to good use. Has Kody gone a single episode this season without trying to use his filming time to jab at his other kids watching at home? Kody says teaching the kids to drive on a mini bike, the transition to a car will be easier later. Yes, I think this is sound parenting advice. Let your very young children learn how to drive on something that can go very fast and has no seatbelt. You know, something they could easily fly off of or over or skid out on. I think a child hurtling through the air will save the challenge of teaching your 16-year-old to brake softly later. Great advice, Kody. Aurora is driving around the empty pond, kicking up all kinds of dust. I can almost smell the scent of fresh pine needles and bubonic prairie dog plague in the air. What a great dad Kody is. We cut back to Salsa Brava, but before the women speak, we then cut to Robyn in a confessional. All she knows about what's going on between Janelle and Kody is that Janelle told Kody not to come back to the house after their fight. And I begged her not to tell him to come get his stuff, but she did it anyway. Hold on, girl, you're saying you called Janelle and begged her to not have Kody get his stuff? Is that because your house is already full of boxes? Are you running out of room? Have a garage sale. Get rid of the 4 of everything that he no longer needs. Seriously, the audacity to call Janelle. Robyn, Janelle doesn't have to listen to you, and you can't control her or her children. Christine asked Janelle if Kody knows Janelle is done. Janelle's like, well, I told him not to come back to the house, that we're separated. We left it at, we'll try to find a counselor, but he hasn't taken any initiative, and neither have I, and it's been a month. In her confessional, Christine says Kody just likes to string people along. He did it to Meri, he tried to do it to me, and now he's doing it to Janelle. He's exhausting. Back at Salsa Caliente, Janelle tells Christine, I don't think I want to be with Kody anymore, but I still have so much affection for him. I just need something different as far as a marriage goes. It's okay to grow. It's okay to change. And sometimes your partner comes along and sometimes they don't. And maybe all of the changes with COVID and how he was with my boys, I was finally like, I'm ready to do something different. In her confessional, Janelle says she's waiting on God to tell me if what I'm doing is okay. I haven't had any kind of inspiration to that regard yet. This is where it gets a little tricky for me personally, because it's so clear that Janelle has been abused. It's so clear that her children haven't been cared for. And it's so clear she doesn't want Kody around, but she feels like she can't completely leave. I wish that she would connect with her body and what her body is telling her, because I feel like that's where a lot of good information comes from. It's internal, rather than it being like this external message that she's getting from God. Obviously, it's a different culture. Obviously, I don't share that culture with her. So it makes me worried, because I feel like it's a framework that's put in place that keeps people in situations like this. Robyn says, Kody isn't talking about what's going on with Janelle and him. She thinks it's because he doesn't like what she has to say. Remember the good old days when Robyn pretended that all the relationships between Kody and the other wives were sacred and not discussed? I'm so happy she's at least finally admitting that she's trying to talk to Kody about all the other wives. So she's known this whole time that he's not interested in Meri, and yet she keeps dangling that carrot. Now we cut back to Meri, who's in her confessional. Meri says it's easier at the B&B, and it scares her that she's going where it's easy. She thinks that's what Kody has done for many years. He's just gone to where it's easy. And now look at our relationship. You know what I mean? Oh, Meri, you deserve easy. You have been through so much BS and manipulation. You are going to be much happier away from these manipulative people who do not display love or care for you. If either of them had any respect for you, they both would have encouraged you to take care of yourself. You deserve much more than they will ever give you, and being around them will just keep you stuck. Back at Meri's house, Robyn asks, does this mean anything else, or is it exactly what you're telling me? Meri says, yeah, exactly what I'm telling you. Robyn says, okay, cool. How much of Robyn's brain is on dollar signs right now? I wonder if Robyn's like, will your money still come to visit if you move though? Because Christine left, and now like her money, it like never comes to us anymore. Meri starts to cry and says, I'm just not used to change, and it's like another thing, and I know you're the only one who cares. Robyn says, well, as long as you're still going to be here. Meri says, I'm going to have a house. I'm going to have an address. I'm going to be here. I'm going to sleep there. Robyn's like, okay, all right. So I guess Robyn's thinking her money will come to visit. Robyn says, I just want you around. She's been around for the past 2 years and you haven't even bothered to call her or text her. So, okay. Meri says she knows what it looks like and she's afraid of what Robyn is going to think what it is. My brain feels twisted in this conversation. I think Meri and Robyn both know Meri is moving the F on, throwing in the towel, and we're all happy for it. But both are denying that's actually what's going on. And hey, if this makes it easier for Meri to move her stuff with less drama, great. It seems like they're both in agreement that they're gonna pretend the move doesn't mean what it actually means. Meri says she thinks Kody is going to say, see, I told you so. She's the one that's leaving. Robyn says, I don't know what this future holds for her. I want her to keep hanging on, but I feel so selfish. 'Cause you are selfish. Oy vey. We cut to Kody, sitting out on the land, drinking his own putrid prairie plague spring water. He's torn off another page of his word of the day calendar. Today his word is contrite, and he uses it correctly and everything. He says he felt contrite for the fight he had with Janelle and wished it had never happened. And then he also tells us that he hasn't spoken to her since, and it's now been about 6 weeks. Kody says Janelle is enjoying herself too much without him, and she doesn't want him back. She never said that at all. She said she would go to couples counseling, which you haven't arranged. She said you need to work out things with her boys. Have you called them? Have you even given Savannah her quote-unquote late Christmas yet? Or better yet, have you even called her or texted her? Kody saying that he wants Janelle back, but doing absolutely nothing has actually become like a facet of Kody's personality at this point. In her confessional, Janelle says she has a fundamental conflict because we believe that marriages are a covenant that goes beyond death even. Oh man, Janelle, get to whoever you need to speak to ASAP. Living one's life on Earth with Kody was enough. Don't commit yourself to an eternity of Kody and Robyn. What a frickin' nightmare that is. Janelle continues, there's really been no outright abuse. There's been no neglect. Like, there's nothing that I can point my finger to and say, I deserve a divorce. This is so hard to hear. It's difficult as people watching from the outside because to us, it's so clear that she's been financially abused and it's so clear that she's been neglected and so have all of her children. We've all probably been in a relationship where once we get out, we look back and we're like, why did I put up with that? Janelle, you definitely deserve a divorce. Go and talk to whomever you think you need to talk to, or heck, do what Christine did and cut your own damn strings. Kody claims to call Janelle regularly. Didn't he just say that he hadn't talked to her in 6 weeks since the fight? Okay. Kody claims that he's begging Janelle over the phone to reconcile, and she's like, nope. She's also not interested in a relationship with Robyn or Meri. And how does that work for the poor codester? See what a tough spot Janelle has put him in? We cut back to Meri and Robyn. Robyn says, if there's anything with the kids, you'll come down? Meri says, let me know ahead of time. You have to communicate with me. You have to call me. You have to text me once in a while. Robyn says she's just gone inside herself because of everything that's gone on with the family. Robyn says the stuff that's going on with the family is consuming her. Robyn claims to be so worried about Janelle and Kody, she doesn't even know how to let it go. Her acting is on point here. If I didn't know Robyn for 18 seasons, I would believe her. Kody says Janelle has an admission on her soul. Yes, admission. Must have been his word yesterday. Anyway, she knows she's done. He doesn't see it that way, but he doesn't have anything to offer her. Not even a six-pack and pecs? Meri, on the other hand, he says, has waited long enough, and she wants Kody back. But he doesn't want her. There you go, Kody. Always keeping it classy. Janelle tells Christine she can't say that it's final, but they are separated. In her confessional, Janelle says Christine thought that she was getting the raw end of the deal for a long time, and Christine took action, and she thinks I deserve better too. Janelle says if Kody were to change, she would want a full marriage with him again, but she thinks that's unrealistic to think that he'll end up changing. I think that's how he's always been. Christine says she thinks he's vastly different than he used to be. Janelle's like, I keep thinking like he's different. Vastly different, Christine says. He's not the same person. I couldn't be in love with who he is now. Janelle says, he used to be more, Christine says, courageous? And she smirks. They both agree that he's different, and who he is doesn't work for Janelle anymore. Janelle says Kody used to be so dynamic and bold. Christine says everyone used to be around him. Not if you ask his friends from high school. They talked mad crap about Kody and how annoying he was. But okay. Christine says he didn't let other people control him. He was his own person. Janelle says he wants a wife who's partnering with him and not independent. He's advocating patriarchy, and I'm not that person. Meri also agrees he's no longer the happy-go-lucky guy she used to know. Robyn says he's been very angry. Meri says, I don't know how you do it, because he's not who you married. He's not who I married. I beg to differ. This was always in Kody. They didn't see it because they were playing by his rules. Robyn comes in, changes how the family interacts, convinces Kody he should be the boss, but really, she's the one controlling everything. Christine said it earlier. He didn't used to let people control him. He did what he wanted. I think Kody thinks these women should just hang out while he ignores them. And so he becomes enraged when the family doesn't follow his quote-unquote patriarchal rules that, of course, came from Robyn. His mask has slipped. This is what a narcissist looks like when their mask slips. I'm sorry, but that person has always been inside Kody. He's just letting everybody see it now. Kody says, we all have changed. Meri asks Robyn, why is he so angry? Robyn shakes her head at Meri, like, duh, the divorce. Meri says, Robyn, I've heard him say he's glad that Christine left. Robyn's expression is one of, you are not supposed to be saying that on camera. In her confessional, Meri says she doesn't believe Kody is lamenting the family leaving. If he was, he'd be working at it. Robyn says when he's honest with himself, it's tearing him up. Meri asks, but then why doesn't he want to do anything about it? Robyn says, what do you mean? What's he supposed to do about it? Meri says, like with me? Robyn sighs and looks up at the ceiling, chuckles, and then says, that's the billion-dollar question. Robyn says Kody is going to do what Kody's going to do. Robyn isn't in charge of fixing everything. That's on Kody, but boy, did she help blow things up. I'm pretty sure Robyn has been in Kody's ear this whole time through the years, whispering to him about what his wife said or did, and I bet the wives for a period of time had no idea that it was Robyn putting wedges into all of their relationships. Kody says Janelle doesn't want a divorce, but she doesn't want him around. She doesn't enjoy our time together. And then Kody says, I want to work on our marriage for the sake of our children. And he says it as if he's asking a damn question. I think he forgot his line. Robyn and he should have worked on their scripts a bit more. But learning lines and 2 vocab words in the same week? This little guy's going to need a nap. He's pooped. Janelle says the hardest thing to overcome is the idea Kody has that somehow Robyn has been a victim in all of this. Robyn says she doesn't consider herself a victim. Oh, good. We don't consider you one either. We see you as the perpetrator. Janelle tells Christine, you and I were in the mud together, raising our kids. Robyn always wanted separate childcare for her kids, and that drew a line in the sand. We were never able to be close with our kids like we were with the others. Janelle says Kody gauged everything in the way Robyn perceived their relationships. How you treat Robyn is the bar for whether you're a good sister wife or not. And then Janelle says, Robyn plays this card where she forgets or she doesn't know why, and that's a typical MO for her. Janelle says she can't even bring anything up with Kody about Robyn because she's perfect, she's supportive, and she's the only one who's been loyal. He just shuts the conversation down. There's no communication. Kody says Robyn is the sweetest person who ever came into the family, and she's given everything to us. So anything that you say to her that's cross is abusive. Janelle says, sorry, it's not real world. And this, in a nutshell, is the demise of the family. Kody should have cut all of this off before it got going, but he fell for it, and Robyn has been ruining this family ever since. Robyn is getting called out a lot in this episode, and it's fantastic. Meri is finally being very vocal. She's not holding back. She's saying what she's thinking. She's saying it in a non-aggressive way, but if you listen to what Meri is saying, she's finally speaking up for herself. She's finally presenting the other side of the information, and I don't think Robyn's quite used to that. Robyn says she wanted a relationship with her sister wives, but they didn't want them with her. And her expression is one of, are you believing this crap? This story that I turned him against them is ridiculous and bogus. They're just not dealing with their own issues. Yeah, like, Janelle, get your housing situation figured out already. What's your problem? Robyn says, what Christine has done has messed him up. Meri looks angry. She places her hand over her mouth as if she's trying to keep something in. Robyn continues, Christine totally just destroyed his past. Meri is literally biting her nail. Robyn continues, like what he thought was a functional situation, she basically said it was horrible. Every single minute of every single day type of a thing. Stories upon stories of all the things that she was going through. And it wasn't about you and Janelle as much as it was about him. In the confessional, Christine says, I'm not responsible for Kody losing his religion. That is ridiculous. To put me as a scapegoat for him losing his faith, I never had that much power over Kody. In the confessional, Meri says she doesn't believe Christine said that every bit of our lives was hell. She believes that Christine had frustrations. But if that's what Kody interpreted it as and related to Robyn in that way, I don't think that's fair. We cut back to Meri sitting on the couch, gnawing on her thumbnail. Robyn is still yammering. I wasn't there. I'm just giving you, I'm explaining to you what he said to me. But it was just basically all the years, all of it was hell. In her confessional, Meri says it isn't surprising that Christine would have complaints about her or about Janelle. We all had complaints about one another. That's what happens in a family, unless you're perfect, and I don't know anybody who is. I had complaints about every single one of them. Janelle says she thinks being a sister wife is tough, and you are kind of mean to one another sometimes, but there's also really good times. Kody says these ladies have no idea the struggles Christine and he went through. He just doesn't think Christine was a good fit in polygamy. Christine to Janelle says, okay, but I'm not abandoning being a sister wife. Janelle's like, I think we're going to have more fun now because we get to be sister wives without all the other crazy stuff. Christine agrees with her. Yeah, we'll always be sister wives. Isn't that funny? Janelle laughs. Yeah. And whoever we marry will just have to be a part of it. We're a package deal. We cut back to Robyn and Meri. Kody is just trying to survive the pain. If you have to move and there's no permanency to it. Robyn says she just wants everyone to figure it out, but she hopes Meri doesn't decide she's had too much. Robyn says, I wouldn't blame her. Kody says this is something we did together. The mistakes that we made together. Stop pointing fingers. Every single wife in this family had the opportunity to have a great relationship with me. If we didn't have a good one, it's because of the two of us. It has nothing to do with what somebody else did. And then probably what is the most comical commentary Meri has used in this whole episode. She was coming so far and then she just slid right back to the dark side. Meri says she thinks that Robyn and she are the only ones really willing to have the hard conversations. Sorry, Meri, you are wrong. She continues, we still see the value in the family. And sometimes to keep the family strong, you have to have hard conversations. God, Meri has no idea. The conversations that she's had with Robyn were well-crafted manipulations to encourage her to hang out and wait for breadcrumbs from Kody. And then we cut to Janelle and Christine just kind of sitting at the restaurant and laughing and also having deep conversations, but they have an actual friendship. I appreciate the contrast that the editors put in between Meri and Robyn's conversations and Janelle's and Christine's. Christine says Robyn and Kody felt like a couple and we were just kind of on the sidelines. Janelle says to her, yeah, that's what it evolved to. Janelle says Christine is saying some funny things about Kody and Robyn, but she really wants to be careful at this point to make sure she keeps her judgment clear and it's what she's thinking rather than being influenced by what Christine is saying. Meri says she wants to tell Kody and asks Robyn to be there when she does. Robyn says, yeah, I'll translate. Robyn tells us she's been teased that she can speak Kody. Robyn says she thinks Kody is trying to figure things out with me and Janelle and in his strange way with you too. Meri says, there's no question, Robyn. He's done with me. And then Robyn does what Robyn does. She dangles a Kody carrot for her little rabbit, Meri. Meri, he talks about us all on the property still. He talks about you out there. In her confessional, Robyn says, I know Meri's goal is to hang out until they can figure it out. And I'm just trying to give her a little rope to hang on to. Oh, Robyn, you are not doing that for Meri. You are doing that for yourself. If you cared for her at all, you would have encouraged her to find happiness. Meri says she's heard Kody say things that aren't very kind, like from season 16 maybe. And these things have made it clear to her where he is in our relationship. Meri asks Robyn, so as long as you and Janelle are good with him, he's cool with plural marriage? Robyn asks, what do you mean? Well, Meri says that's the only plural marriage that he has left. Robyn says it's not like he's given up on plural marriage. I can only do what I can do here. Yeah, Meri, all Robyn can do is dangle carrots to keep you around. She can't make Kody actually be a worthy spouse. Kody says they get along, but he doesn't want to reconcile the relationship because he doesn't think it's a fit for him. Christine asks if Janelle was heartbroken. Janelle says, no, I felt like a weight was lifted off of my shoulders. I didn't cry except when you left. Christine laughs. Kody tells us he doesn't think Janelle realizes that 80 to 90% of separations end in divorce. He thinks it's a mistake, but whatever. Yeah, just a wife you claim to love, but whatever. Spoken like a true teenager. Janelle says she doesn't want Kody back at her house, but there isn't anything legal they have to do to get a divorce. She isn't interested in dating, but unless God throws a man right in front of her with large arrows saying, "This is your man," I'm just not interested. Janelle said this summer is looking much better than last summer. I have lots of options and I'm excited. Christine and Janelle say they have a bond and nothing is going to come between them. They will still be sister wives. Meri says she doesn't know her place in the family with her sister wives, but she's going to give them the space that they want and let them figure it out. Robyn says she's torn with Meri. Part of her wants to say to her, "Go find your happiness." And another part of Robyn, I think it's mostly coming from her pockets, says, "Please figure it out with us here." Meri says, "I have a really good life. I have a lot on my plate, and I just need to be around people who want to be involved in it. So that's what I need to do." Robyn says, "I love Kody, but I never wanted to live monogamy, and it feels like that's where it's headed." Girl, that's where it's been. What are you talking about? You have been living monogamy for years. Kody hasn't been anywhere but your house for years. Robyn continues, "Feel really angry, and I'm starting to feel a little tricked. Oh no, here comes victim Robyn." Or something like, "People are making decisions for my life that I did not choose. It's making me very angry and very depressed. I'm very curious if Robyn will be able to hang in there with Kody. It's hard to be the perfect wife when you're the only wife. She definitely deserves him. And he definitely deserves her. So I guess it is a happy ending after all." That's it for this week, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And if you have not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. I'm excited to announce that we're at 11,000 subs now, which is freaking fantastic. So thank you. Have a wonderful week. Until next time.